Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to start a ADMT 3.2 tutorial, and this is basically Active Directory migration toolkit where we are going to do the migration from one old domain to new domain, and we'll see how the ADMT going to install and how we can configure and how we can use the ADMT tool to migrate a user's group, or you can say the service account, computer, servers, all from any old forest to new forest. So there was number of like requirement to migrating the domain or forest from one domain to new domain, like some company purchase some companies, so you want to merge those companies to activate it together, or someone taken over the some company, so you want to migrate all the resources from old domain, old company environment to new domain which is purchased that company. So there were lots of stuff, uh, we can face the issues, or we can have a scenario where we need to migrate the domain resources to new domain. So I'm going to follow the video where we are going to install the ADMT, and you can also follow my instructions or my video to configure the ADMT, and you can do the forest wise migration. So in this video I'm going to do the forest wise migration, and this is, you can see, this is the first video. So in this video I'm going to basically focus on installation of ADMT and doing the migration. In coming video we can see how to migrate your file server from one domain to new domain, and also I'm going to record few videos on, like, after migration how you can do completely demote your old domain, and after migrating all the users, computer, all the resource to new domain. So let's start. So here is, we have a two domain. You can see I'm focusing on three virtual machines for now. However, I have few other virtual machine. If you go to my this lab scenario which I have built, so I have basically six machine, but I'm focusing on three virtual machines now because these are the primary DC and secondary DC and the new forest domain controller. So rest we have a two file server and two Windows client, which is Windows 8 and Windows 10. So I'm going to focus on these domain controller for now. So the primary DC, so the old domain controller, you can see the domain name is victorinfosol.com, where is all the resources we want to migrate to new domain, which is vectornew.com. So in an old forest, what we have two domain controller here. You can see the first primary DC is o-win2get12-dc01, which is running on Windows Server 2012 R2, and this is the IP address of the primary DC 192.168.1.201, and the secondary DC we have a same with the 202. So this is my old domain controller. Let's verify the server. So you can see the old domain controller, which is Victor Infosol, and o-win2get12 dc01 and the IP address, and you can go and browse the Active Directory also. Here is my Active Directory users and computer. We can see the domain name, and we have a prod OU where I have created some groups, and we have a one file server also here, and we have a few users, a normal user. This is a file server admin, which is basically our domain admin. Rest of the users are normal users. They are domain user and join in some group which we have created here. So, and we have two Windows machines, client machine. So this is the infrastructure, and if you go to domain controller, you can see we have two domain controller, DC01 and DC02, and both are the global catalog, and join in my main site. So same, we can verify from here also. This is my domain controller 2, and you can see everything from here also, all the things. So these are the two domain controller for the old domain, which is victorinfosol.com. And the next we have a new forest, which is victornew.com. So here's the machine. You can see the computer name win2get12 and an extension for, like, you can say new, new win2k12 dc01, and the new domain is Victor new. And you can see here this machine is also uh, running on Windows Server 2012 R2, and the IP address is 192.168.1.201. And you can see the details, and you can see the Active Directory also here. So we have no computer here, we have no prod OU, and we have only one domain controller, which is this. So let's start the step-by-step installations. So step-by-step forest migration by ADMT. So the first thing, we need to create a DNS setting on all DCs. Means before proceeding anything, we must need to configure a DNS on all domain controller to get the recognized by other domains. So I'm going to put here 192.168.100.201 is this machine itself as a DNS server, and this is its primary secondary domain controller. And the last one is I'm putting the DNS name for this machine, which is new domain controller in a new forest. So basically we have a DNS setting for all three DNS, which we have for new domain and the old domain as well as. So done for primary DC, and I am going to do on old DC2. So here you can see the domain. I need to put here 192.168.1.221. So it's done. You can verify also. Here you can also verify, and let's do the same on our new domain controller. So you can see I'm going to wipe this setting, and 192.168.1.221 for itself, and the primary domain controller of the old domain 201. I'm going to put the secondary DNS also 192.168.1.202 for the secondary. So we have this now. So we have done the DNS setting on all the server, all the domain controller. We have to make sure we have not changed the DNS setting on our client or our file server. We will work on these machines later on. So the first thing, the first step we have just done is create DNS setting on all the DC, and now we are good to go and create a trust, and we are going to create a trust between this old domain, which is Victor Infosol, and the Victor new. So I'm going to do it now. So I'm on my new domain controller, which is n Victor new. I'm going to use the Active Directory domain and trust. So on victornew.com, right click and go to properties, and here we have a trust. So I'm going to create a new trust, and forest in another forest, and this is giving some basic detail what is trust. And I'm going to put here my domain name for the old domain. Click next, and you can see we are able to resolve it. So we have external trust and forest trust. So I'm going to create a forest trust between a two forest, allow users from any domain one forest to authenticate in other forest. So we are going to create a forest trust. Click next, and how the trust is going to be: a one-way, a two-way, or like incoming or outgoing only. So I'm going to create a two-way trust between these new domain and the old domain. So click next, and we have a created trust with the following: this domain or both domain and a specified domain. So I'm going to use the both domain and specified domain. Click next, and now we need to put the credential for the victorinfosol.com. So I'm going to put the credential here, and I'm going to type here administrator credential for victorinfosol.com. Click next, and now you can see we are passed and outgoing trust authentication level local. So forest wise, so for outgoing forest wise, click next, and we are good to go. Here you can see this domain and the specified domain. We have both domain, and it's a trust type forest trust, and we have a direction two-way transitive, yes, outgoing and incoming. Click next, and now you can see the trust relationships created successfully. Specified domain victorinfosol.com, and everything looks good. Click next, and it's confirming you. It's asking to confirm the outgoing trust. Yes, I want to confirm the outgoing trust. Click next. Do you want to confirm the incoming trust? Yes, I want to confirm it. And now you can see the trust relationship was successfully created and confirmed. So route, we have a both domain. Click finish. Now you can go here and you can actually validate it. So I'm going to validate it, and the trust is validated and in place and active, so good to know. And this is Active Directory message. Do you want to update the naming suffix routing information to trust? Yes, I want. So it's done, and go and validate this also. So I'm going to validate for victorinfosol.com. So I'm going to put administrator credentials. So you must need to uh, validate the trust after creations to activate the trust. So all good. So now we have an active trust from this domain, and also we need to go to our victorinfosol.com, which is old trust, and need to activate the trust to to work. So properties and validate. So it will ask you the credential for victornew.com, which is our target domain. So I'm going to type here victor new and credential for it. Click OK. So trust has been validated and in place and active. Get to know. And this also we need to verify. So Victor new administrator, and the password for the administrator, and the trust is validated. Good to know. Okay, so now we have active trust between both the domain, which is Victor Infosol and Victor New. So we are good to move on. So I'm going to step the third step, which is configuring DNS suffix search result. So what is mean? Basically, if you go on your CMD and type ipconfig all, you can see we have only DNS suffix search list Victor Infosol, and if you go to new domain, you are able to find only means ipconfig slash all. Means if our users are requesting something in a new domain, which is or an old domain, it will not going to search the DNS suffix, because the domain don't have the information about the other forest DNS suffix. So we need to add it manually. So it can be done by GPO easily. So we am going to do it by group policy only. So I'm going to, you can create a new GPO, either you can go and modify any existing GPO. So as this is a forest wide, we are doing this activity for the forest wise or domain wise, so I'm going to modify in a default domain policy for now. So click edit, and you need to go to computer settings, and you need to go to policies, administrator templates, networking, and the DNS client, and you have here, you can see the DNS suffix search list. So I'm going to change here and make it enable. I'm going to copy my both the domain name here and paste it and enable. Now if I go and type gp update, to get the new GPO applied on this machine. So the computer policy is applied, completed, and now if I go and check the ipconfig all, you can see the DNS Suffix search results is added. So same I'm going to do for new domain as well as, so I'm going on here on my group policy on new domain controller, and I'm going to make the changes in my default domain policy and policies, administrative templates, networking, and the DNS client, and here I have to put in enable and type it. So I'm going to make some changes here. The first, it should come to my Victor new and apply, and we are good to go. Now if I go here, GP update, first update the group policy, and then we can verify. So it's completed, and now if we configure also, you can see the both the DNS fixes added. So we are good to go. We have added the DNS suffix in old and new domain both, so we are good with it. And let's move to next step. So now we are proceeding to basically installing the ADMT tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to install ADMT tool on my target domain, which is Victor new. So I'm log into my, this is my domain controller in a target domain, and I have downloaded the required setup here. So ADMT can use the Express edition of the SQL Server, so I'm going to install the SQL Express first. So launching the SQL Express setup. So new installation, that's a brand new installation. So this is basically SQL Server 2008 R2. Accept the license term, click next, and wait for the setup to copy the files. So this is the SQL setup. So the main thing, we require a database engine services. So leave the all default, click next. So if you want to change the instance name, you can change the instance name. However, I'm going to use the default instance, which is MS SQL Server. So click next. So I want to run SQL Server by systems account. So I just selected the system, anti-authority system, click next. Now you can see the Victor new / administrator is already added. So go ahead, click next and click next, and now you can see the installation is started. So the installation will take some time to get the installation done for SQL Server 2008 R2 Express edition. So after this installation done, we can go ahead and install the ADMT 3.2. So ADMT I have already downloaded. Here you can see it's a very small setup. It's around 4 MB setup. So once the installation is done for this SQL Server, we will proceed with the ADMT installation. So wait for a few minutes here. So now you can see SQL Server 2008 R2 installation completed successfully. Go ahead, close this, and you can also close this installation center. And now I'm going to launch the installation for this ADMT migration Active Directory Migration Toolkit. So click next, I agree, click next, and here we have I don't want to join this program, and put here MS SQL Server. Now you can see its installation is done and it's asking to import the database. So I don't want to import any database. Click no, don't want to import any existing database default. Click next, and now you can see the Active Directory Migration Toolkit has installation successfully installed, and you can go ahead and click on finish. And if I go here, you can see Active Directory Migration Toolkit, new, open it, and send the icon to desktop. And same way we need to install ADMT on old server also, so I'm going to do on old domain controller, and I'm going to run the installation for SQL first, and click on new installations. I accept the license agreement, click next. It will take some time, we need to wait. So click next. Leave the default name SQL Express, click next. And service accounts should be system, anti-authority system, click next. And you can see the Victor InfoSol administrator is added, click next. Click next, and now you can see the installation is started. So installation will take some time. After once the installation is done, we can go ahead and install ADMT on this machine also. So just wait for installation to get finished. And also if you want, we can move to next step, which is create an encryption key. What is this encryption key? This encryption key is basically to sync your password from old domain to new domain. We must require some secure method to migrate the passwords. So it's need to be done by uh, encryption. So I'm going to export the migration toolkit here. So for the migration, we need to go to this path where this is, open in and type the cmd, and I have here my command ready. So it's something you need to put like you can see the ADMT and key create source name victorinfosol.com, and the key file I'm going to save in my C drive with this name, and password should be this. So good to go. I'm going to type my password again. So click enter, and you can see the password export for domain was successfully created and saved in C drive. So now I can go to C drive and I can see my password file here, and I'm going to copy this file in my uh, primary domain, which is here. So that's good. So we have created the encryption key, which required later on. So now you can see the SQL is almost installed complete. Installation is almost complete. We can go and run the ADMT on my source domain server. So we are good to go. Close this, and you can close this also. Now I'm going to run the ADMT toolkit here. So SQL Express, click next. It's installing. So I am basically installing the ADMT toolkit on my source and destination forest or domain both. So click next, and we have successfully created and installed. So now I'm going to send the icon to shortcut to my desktop. So we are good with it. So we are done basically first 6 step, and now we can move to our 7th step, which is add ADMT migration account in my administrator group. So you can basically add your ADMT migration if you created any generic account, any specific account for your ADMT migration only, so you can add that to administrator group. So in my case, I am going to add my administrator account of target domain control, target domain, and the source domain and administrators group. So we have here in Victor Infosol administrators group, I'm going to add the member of the Victor new. So I'm going to type the administrator, check name, so click OK, and now basically I have added my um, target domain administrator ID in here in administrator group to allow it full rights on my source domain, and same I'm going to do in my target domain to access the full control, to give the full control on my domain. So built in the source domain administrator, I'm going to find my source domain here. We have a trust, go ahead, type the administrator. It will take some time to search it. We're good to go. Here you can see Victor Infosol, click add apply. So this account basically need to be have administrative rights on all your machines, users, desktop, end users machines and desktop and servers everywhere. So for now I am just adding to my Active Directory servers, and now we are good to go and install ADMT Password Migration DLL. So this need to be installed on source domain controller. So I'm going on my source domain controller on a this is my writable domain controller. So click on password migration setup, and welcome to the ADMT Password Migration DLL setup wizard. Click next. I accept the license term. Now you need to provide the encryption key which we have just generated from the our target domain. So it's in my C drive. Next, and the password for this encryption key. So I'm putting my password here, and ready to install ADMT Password Migration DLL. Click install, and we need to put the local service account. So on a service account I'm going to put my target domain controller administrator account. So Victor new and administrator, and the password for this account. Click OK, and now you can see the account Victor new / administrator has granted to logon service. Click OK, and now you can see it's asking for reboot the server. So I'm going to reboot this server, and then we will start the service, this password migration service. So we need to do this 9th step. So just wait for it to server bring online, then we will do it. So hit Ctrl Del to log into this machine. And now if I go to services, I'm able to see the service called Password Export Server Service. So I'm going to run it automatic, and I'm going to start it. So we are good with it, and you can see the logon as service also. So we can close this, and now we can move to next step, which is create OU in a target domain. So basically we need to make sure we have a same OU structure in our forest, new forest. So you can dump all the data, all the OU's structure in a CSV file by using the PowerShell, and you can create the automate the script to create an OUs in your target domain. So basically we have only few group OU, so I'm going to create it for manually right now. So prod, under the prod we have users, we have groups, we have servers, and finally we have workstations. So we are good with it, and so we have created the OUs, and now we can start the migration step. So what is the recommendation from Microsoft to migrate the resources? So the first thing, you can migrate the groups, then you can migrate the user account, then the security translation, and the computer account migration. So I'm going to do it now. So let's test with the few users. So I'm going to open my Active Directory Migration Toolkit on my target domain, and I'm going to run a group account migration. So click next. Welcome to the group account migration wizard. Click next, and here you need to put the type of the source domain. So I'm going to put victorinfosol.com, and we can see we have a two domain controller. You can either select any domain controller, you can, if you have a preference, you can select the preference also, and the target domain, which is victornew.com, and we have only one domain here controller here. So click next. Now it will search for the select the group from the domain, or if you have any text file which include all the objects, you can go and use that text file, information file also. So I'm going to select the group basically. So click next, and group selection, click add, and I'm going to run the find here. So I'm going to basically migrate these four groups. So I'm going to select them. So this is basically, I think, here these three groups, and I'm missing one group also, which is a script group. So click OK, and now you can see I have selected all four group which is given in groups. So I'm going to click next, and the target OU I'm going to migrate in my prod and groups. So Victor new OU, and click next, and here we have something called migrate groups SSID to the target domain. We can select these settings, you can customize as per your requirements. So I'm going to, with these options, copy the group members and fix the membership of the group, and you can go basically with the default option also, and you can fix these options later on also. So I'm going to do this fix membership for the group and group SSID to the target. So you can see the auditing is currently not enabled in source domain. Do you want to like to enable it? Yes. And for the target domain also we don't have, you want to enable it? Yes. So go ahead and put the password for the target source domain. So I'm going to put my credential here for the Victor Infosol domain. So click next and leave everything default, and now you can go ahead and click on finish, and you can see you examined 4 and copied 4, so we don't have any errors, so we are good to go. Also you can go and find the logs here which is showing that it not be able to find the users, these users, which is a part of this script group, and this not be able to find this group, so it's not be able to fix the permissions basically. So we have migrated the group, and now we are good to go and migrate the um, users. So we can close this and let's verify the groups. So we have a, if I refresh here, you can see we have all group, and but we don't have any member of these groups yet because we have not migrated any users. So now we need to migrate the users, and we'll see how it's going to fix the auto fix the groups by using adding the users. So user account migration wizard, click next, and you can see it's by default selected. Click next and select the users from domain, yes, and I want to add them, call it users. So we have 5 user here in this OU, and including we have one more thing, FS. So let's move FS also. So we have FS admin. So click next, and the target we need to select users, and good to go. Click next and generate password, migrate password. We want to migrate the password from, we have already installed the password migration services, and click next. Do not update password for the existing users, click next. It will take some time. So we have here the account translation option. You can close account and set the expire date and everything. So I'm not going to disable the source account. You can also go ahead and select this option, and it will disable the uh, user account in source domain. So I don't want to do this. And we have here the target account state, target as same as source. So if you want to disable, you can go ahead and enable or disable. So I'm going to use the default, which is target same as source. So, and we have a small checkbox here, migrate users ID to new domain, which is required. So click next and put the password here. So I'm going to type my password. And we have update user rights, migrate associated groups, update the previously migrated objects. So it will fix the membership also. Click next. And if you want to exclude something, you can exclude. So let's click on finish, and you can see now it's copying the migrating the users. So examine one, copied one. So it will take some time, we have to wait. Copied 2 and copied 6, so everything looks good, we don't have any error. Close this. Now you can go and verify the users. If I go here, refresh, you can see all the users has been migrated, and you can also see the group membership has been fixed now for the group which we have previously migrated. So everything looks good here, and you can see for this also, if I go to FS admin, you can see it's a member of domain users. So good, we are done with it, and now we can go and do the security translation. So the security translation is basically required on a desktop, on a server which you want to join in domain in a new forest. So I'm going to do it on my uh, previous Windows 10, 8 machine for now. So for this I'm going to put my administrator credential and put the DNS detail of the new domain server. So I'm going to change the DNS setting 192, so 192.168.1.221. So we have put it the DNS entry for the new domain, Now you need to make sure you have disabled the firewall, so I'm going to do it manually for now. Also, you can apply the GPU for this. And one more thing, you need to make sure that this user, the migration account which you are going to use from the target domain controller, have access to this machine as a domain as the administrator. So I'm going to use this here. So I'm going to use that Victor new administrator account here and a local administrator. So to allow the migration, so click OK. Now everything looks good, and now I can go ahead and do the security translations. So go here, and security translation is basically required when you are when you are going to do the migration for the file servers. So previous objects, click next, and it's searching for the object. We have to wait and select the computer from domain, click next, and add, and go to your source domain, which is Victor Info Soul. I'm going to find my computer objects, and here we have a Windows 8 machine, so I'm going to click OK and next. And what you want to do the security translation, so I'm going to select everything here which is going to do the security translation for user rights, user profile, shares, registry, printers, local groups, and the use of files and folders as well. So click next, and what you have option here, you want to add it, you want to remove, or you want to replace. So the safest way to do this, you can do the add is equivalent to security preference target object and leave the source uh, reference in fact also. So I'm going to add this, click next, and here you can see finish, show initializing, please wait. Now you can see we have two action here, agent action run pre-check and run pre-check and agent operation. So I'm going to run a pre-check, so to verify everything connection and everything is okay with this machine and a new forest, and then we can, if everything is passed, we can go and run. So you can see the pre-check is passed, so now we are good to go and run the pre-check and agent operation to start this. So now you can see it's started, and it will take some time to complete this, so we have to wait. So sometime it's going to take a long time. Basically it's depend on how much data you have, how much printers, and how much changes. It's basically how much changes is required, needed in your machine. So you need to make sure you have enough time to do this activity translation. So just wait for this to complete, and then we will do our final step, which is computer account migration. So I'm just waiting to complete this. So you can see completed with errors, so might be we have some errors, so we can see the migration log also here. So you can see it's not saying anything critical, so we can go and close this, and we are done with. Now let's move to the computer account migration. So I'm going to do the computer account migration. So select here computer migration wizard, click next, and you need to select this, and the select computer from a domain. So we can go and find the object Windows 8 machine, click OK, click next, and the target OU we need to select in a new domain. So I'm going to put in workstations, click next, and what you want to do the security translation, so click next, and add, we have already done this, so click next, and minute before the computer restart, so I'm going to make it 1, and I don't want to exclude anything, so everything looks good. Click on finish. Now it will examine, copied, everything good. Close this. Now it's initializing, please wait, and now I'm going to run the pre-check. So pass agent started not, so I'm going to start the agent now. So this process is automatically going to change this machine domain, and it's going to unjoin this machine from victorinfosol.com and going to join this machine automatically in a new domain, which is Victor new, and it will restart the machine itself. So we have to wait for it. You can see the agent is running now. So now you can see that it's completed and waiting for reboot. So the machine is soon going to reboot, and maybe less than a minute. So we have to wait for it, and then if I go to properties, you can see the machine is joining new domain itself, victornew.com. So after reboot, we are going to get the login to the new domain from this Windows 8 client machine. So we have to wait for few seconds, few minutes here to auto reboot this machine. So now you can see it's automatically, ADMT is automatically rebooting this machine and going to join in new domain. So now you can see the machine is joining Victor new. So I'm going to use my user01 to log into this machine, and you can see password must change before signing. So I'm going to change the password for user01, which was migrated by using the ADMT only. So click next, and changing password in new domain. So your password is changed. We are signing in, and now you can go and find the machine detail and just join in Victor new. So it will take some time to give here the message that the post check is completed. Also you can see verify the computer object in AD. So I'm going in my old domain controller, old domain, and if I refresh, you can see the Windows 8 computer account is just still there with the victorinfosol.com domain. So basically computer migration is not going to migrate your computer account. It's doing basically a disjoin and join machine into new domain. So if I go to new domain and I refresh this and go to workstation, you are able to find your machine also here with the new domain name, which is win8victornew.com. so everything looks good here. So we have migrated the computer successfully. So everything's passed. So go ahead and close this. And same way you can use to migrate all your clients from Windows, from old domain to new domain. So basically this is the how we can install the ADMT Active Directory Migration Toolkit and install and configuration, and also you can see how we have migrated the users, computers, group, and um, security translation also. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos, and if you have any query, any question related to this, you can post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.